Eyes back. Sorry, 1 second. After the random picture bullshit that happened last time, it's just taking a little while to load the new pictures onto the computer. Well, it's trying to, anyway. It's trying to really hard. But no, I'm here. Just, well, I mean, it was trying to, and now I'm doing something else because that took more time than I was expecting it to. Anyway, go away. Not you. Go away, stupid message. Right. Discord informed. Beep. Okay. Hey there. So I was back from my random little working vacation. It didn't go as well as planned, but then again, I should have actually made it. I'm doing your commission, Dom. I'm doing it. Right? God damn it, man. Yeah, it didn't go as well as planned. I basically got sick the very first day that I was there, and that threw me off the entire time. Plus, I'm pretty sure it's just cat allergies. I was lethargic the entire time. I essentially, every time I did try to take some antihistamines, um, and I think that's kind of what started the whole lethargic cycle bullshit that was going on. But yeah, every time I sat on the sofa, I fell asleep. Like it wouldn't start right away, but I would basically just be like, okay, I don't want to get out of the covers because I had a blanket over my legs. I don't want to get out. I'll just put my legs up on the sofa, and I'm waking up, and it's been like 3 hours. What the fuck happened? So yeah, that kind of like after my first day of being randomly sick, which did just feel like a really bad cold, you know. Um, that was it. I was kind of screwed. It kind of screwed me over on many, many different levels because I, my mother said that she had basically stocked up the house so that I would be able to be comfortable while I was there. She didn't. To basically all of the stuff that was there was either not enough of it. Like she gave me a bowl of fruit that was supposed to last a whole week. You know, she got lots of bread. I'm assuming that she basically had already got lots of bread, but then she got me an extra loaf of bread, um, which was the only bread that was suitable to be eaten because the rest of it was moldy, or it was going moldy. Um, yeah, and she tried to poison me with. She's a vegetarian. She tried to poison me with out of date chicken. So, and she tried to take my toothpaste away. That actually that wasn't her. That was her fiance. That was my future stepfather. I don't know. That was him. Um, he basically just put everything in the wash bag and then threw it in the car, and basically that was my toothpaste. So I had a bit of a time. Basically, what I mean by derailing other plans, I had to do shopping and stuff, so which meant that I had to spend money, which was not cool. Also, and this is like something that's just a little bit annoying. That like I downloaded the McDonald's app because I was kind of I was being treated. I got two treats while I was there. I basically Uber Eats, although it's just called Just Eat in the UK. I just eated my food got delivered. In other words, um, from basically I did a couple of food challenges, and they were they were very much thanks to a very special pup who lives in Iceland. You know who you are. So thank you very much for that. However, I downloaded the McDonald's app because I found out that McDonald's delivered to my mum's house, and McDonald's doesn't deliver to my mum's house. However, it was on the Just Eat app. So I put in my whole order on the Just Eat app, assuming that they will deliver it instead. And when I went to check out, it said that McDonald's is not delivering. So I had to go to a slightly more niche restaurant. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but Wimpy is in the UK. Wimpy is a restaurant in the UK. And they do pretty much the same stuff, as McDonald's. However, it is twice as expensive. So I could not, after kind of I sort of manipulated my puppy friend, my Icelandic puppy friend. That's weird. My Icelandic puppy friend to basically give me another food challenge and give me money to do the food challenge, and he did. But like I said, McDonald's didn't deliver. I had to get a Wimpy. Wimpy is twice as expensive, so I had to spend as much money anyway. I didn't feel comfortable about manipulating any more to get me more money. I'm really tired, so my my speech impediment is at full blast. It's trying its best to stop me from talking so that I can go to bed. So fun. I did get some stuff done. And I'll get into that in just a second. But because of this random cash flow, this actually cost me like $200. This whole trip cost me like $200, which means that I am gonna actually have to push back the annoyingly, I'm actually really pissed off at myself for this. I'm gonna have to push back my orc plans, and that's literally because I'm trying desperately not to spend all of the money that I saved up for Damon's vacation, which is happening in a year's time. Actually, January next year, we are going to Disney World. So it's like a whole thing, and I've got the money saved up for it, minus about $500, which is now actually minus about $700, which is a bit kind of and I'm trying desperately not to spend any more of that money because, in order to do that, I'm going to have to not buy any more stuff that I actually do need for the Orky Dorky launch, which is fine. I mean, it was in the planning stage. This was the planning stage week for me to plan everything for the Orky Dorky channel. And I did get down a lot of stuff on paper, ideas, thumbnails, all of that stuff, openings, closers. The book's right up here. I'm kind of frightened to touch it, and I will explain. A very not small spider, around about that big, randomly made its journey. It made a little sojourn over my desk while I was sat at my desk. It crawled up. I don't know if you can see it. It's just off screen. There's a wire here that leads to the ring light that I've got up here that I'm using as a lamp sometimes, because this main light is a bit too bright sometimes. But it crawled up this very thin wire somehow, and it crawled all the way up here and is now just somewhere in this area, which is actually one of the reasons why my chair isn't dead center in the middle of the camera, is because I don't want to be underneath the shelf, because that has happened. I've been underneath the shelf when a large spider has decided to make its descent onto my shoulder, and I don't want that to happen again. Just because, yeah, you know, it's creepy. I'm not actually scared of spiders. I know I've said this many, many times on stream. I'm just trying to get this out so that my speech impediment will reset, because it's really hard to talk right now. I don't know if it's coming across that way, but it is really hard. Maybe all the hand movements, the gesticulation is helping to explain this. But yeah, I'm not actually afraid of spiders. However, the creepiness, they are creepy. You know, sometimes they are creepy, especially ones that you can actually see the fangs of. They are actually creepy. I'm not scared of spiders. I am scared. I'm healthily scared of pain. And I've actually been bitten by a spider, and I do not want to be bitten by that one, whatever that is up there. Yes. Anyway, trying to ignore that a little bit. Maybe move my chair a bit more away. There we go. Sorry, I'm going to be on this side of the screen tonight. Yes. Now I've reminded myself of the spider. Yeah, it crawled up the cable and it's just now on that shelf. Now, every time I touch anything on that shelf, including your drawing, which I have done, Don, I have done the initial sketches and I've done the pencil line, and I was in the middle of inking the first panel, which is actually the second panel. But you'll see what I mean in a second, once I delicately remove it from the pile, because all of my drawing books and stuff are just within easily reach normally when I just do that and then pick it up. But so is the Orky Dorky notepad. It's also up there. I shouldn't be this scared, you know. I shouldn't be this scared. I shouldn't be this kind of like anxious about touching things. I've already touched stuff on the shelf. I've checked it thoroughly, but I've already touched stuff on the shelf, so it shouldn't be that bad. It has been a while. It's been hours. It's been hours. It should be okay. Hello, Daz. Is this the Daz I'm thinking of? You don't know what I'm thinking of. Is this HCM Daz? Probably not. Okay, I'm going to touch something on the shelf. It's my travel pipe pack. Nope, it's not in there. That's good. Got to put that down here. And I mean, that was it from Daz, I guess. Okay. Yes, so this is the Orky Dorky book. So this is not the right Daz. Okay. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing, Daz. Anyway, yeah, the Orky Dorky book. It now has like lists of numbers next to all of the different channel ideas, and now has more information on each page for every one of those ideas. And the shopping list has increased, which is the annoying thing, including actual tusks. I'm gonna bite the bullet. I was gonna bite the bullet. I was gonna bite the bullet on the expensive tusks that are on the wish list on my Discord. I'm gonna actually maybe possibly get one of those, maybe, kind of, in the future when I have money. So yes. But also things like I've got to get a green screen and a blue screen just for one gag. Just for one gag. It's like, I've got a green screen, and it's going to be like really funny because the chroma key is going to like bounce off my face and everything because I'm green. Get it? It's funny, and I'm going to like be like, you know, just hard cut to I got a blue screen. You know. Anyway, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? If it's on one of these, I'm going to be very cross. Okay, not that one. Although I do have to finish the art that's in there. You get it, Daz. How do you get it? Do you know anything about the Orky Dorky stuff? It's not in here. It's not in here. It's not even in the office. God damn it, Dom. It's physically impossible for it to be inside the book. This is the furry art book. Wait, why? No, this is the right one. I was like, it's still in the thing. It's still in the, but it's not. It should be in here. Yeah. It's going to look a lot better and cleaner, but I've started doing the inking on these two pictures. And I've got the next few panels sorted already as well. So it is in here. It's this one. Let's keep that one on top, that one underneath it. But yeah, I've taken today off. I was taking today off and just chilling and playing my computer game because my back is hurting. And also, I have a lot of paperwork to do, which I've been doing today, which is why my eyes are slightly a bit. But yeah, that's panel 2. I'm doing it out of sequence just because, like, you know, I drew one picture and then I was like, well, this isn't really big enough. It's too big for the first picture, but it's not really big enough for the last picture. So it's panel 2. And then I drew the next one, which turned out to be the last picture. And then I drew the because I like it looked big, but it didn't look. I mean, it kind of looked big, I think. But yeah. You know what? All the books, just so you don't fall out, I'm going to put that act as a spider buffer for the books, which will probably fall on top of me now. Yep. I've not balanced that correctly. Oh, are you going to fall the other side? Are you going to be a bitch and fall the other side? Yep. Yeah. I can ignore that. That's fine. I might get avalanched with books. Anyway, Dad says no. I don't know why I asked. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm tired. Anyway, yes, I'm going to be doing like that and editing for the videos that I did make in the week. So I'm going to be doing that starting from tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to be doing another live stream as well tomorrow to do LiveTubs Weekly. So that's going to be cool. And yes, the planning is still going ahead. Just planning for the Orky Dorky channel. So things are happening. Things are happening. I just want my back to feel better. I had my computer and all of the. So I like this shirt, but it's been stretched out so much that it's like loose in weird places, like this arm, but not this one. You know. Yeah, I was feeling fine. I was feeling better as I was coming home. But the last train trip, the last train that I got from King's Cross Station to Peterborough, was hell. The heating was cranked up all the way, and when I was getting off the train, I was very stinky. And I was very much aware of how much I stank compared to everybody else on the train, and oh, I was just cranky and hungry, and I reached for my bag, forgetting that it was very heavy because it still had like leather stuff in it, and the books and the laptop that I was using and all of that stuff, and yeah, just pulled it off the shelf, and then when its weight was fully in just one arm, the entirety of this side just went, twinged. And that was not cool. Obviously, that was annoying. So yeah. So every time I bent over today, it's just been very achy. Also, I've been randomly very snotty today. I don't know what that's about. So yeah. And yeah, like I said, I've had to deal with just paperwork today, so I've not had any time to just lay down and chill. But yeah, it's just I'm going to be okay. It's just, I mean, it happens, you know. I don't really have much to say apart from, I mean, that I didn't get the last video filmed in time. There was an issue anyway because I was planning on basically before my mother came home. I was planning to actually do like a really big padding video. I got my really big padding clothes and everything, and I was gonna work on a better method in which to actually put the padding in without basically it being a super workout. You know, basically I was going to sit on the bed with all of the pillows and the my mother's got some really big like rugs, some really big, really fluffy kind of like things covering the sofa, big fluffy what do you call it, blankets, I guess, like really big ones. She's got like four of them. They're kind of like, I figured that I could actually kind of like layer them in such a way that it would actually like double up their thickness as well, and yeah, and use all the pillows and everything. And I was going to put them basically like either on the sofa or on the bed, and then I was going to sit with them in between my legs, like leaning on my belly, and then I was going to just put the try to actually get dressed with them already in position almost. And it was just going to be another way of trying this out, because I can't really try that here because I mean, I could, but our bedroom is really tiny. So if I did do that, I would have to stay on the bed, and that would be awkward. Also, we don't have all of the like layer things. And I wanted to do this, but my mother was coming home sooner than expected. Damon visited as well, and he left later than expected, and I had to get the whole house kind of just like properly cleaned and polished and everything so that my mother could come home, see that I did a good job, and basically I didn't want to leave her with the house kind of not messy, but you know, not perfect. You know, whenever I house sit, I basically try to make it so that it's better, or at least nice, um, than when I actually got there. And I think I did that, but I could have done a better job, I think. But yeah. Plus, there was weird stuff going on with like the outside and like the doors and stuff. So I'm not gonna get into it. So yeah, there just wasn't time. There was no time. Um, and I was kicking myself because of that. As for downtime, when I did have walks, I went and walked on the beach a couple of times, and I walked a couple of times with Damon as well. You know, I walked along the wall, the sea defense wall. Um, yeah. Oh, and some random woman in the particular housing estate that I was in, some random woman got murdered because Essex, you know. Well, she didn't get murdered; she was killed, but it wasn't actually murder. I mean, like she was killed by two dogs, just like a few streets away from me. So that was fun. Oh man, that's uncomfortable. Yeah, that was very surreal. That was incredibly surreal because like I was just like I just had my dinner and I was like getting ready to about to be doing the dishes, and my mother called me every fucking day for some reason. My mother called me and basically said it's like we had a normal conversation. And then she said, like, did you hear about the woman that got killed by those two dogs? And I was like, no. Was this local to you? She said, yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's local to you. I was like, what do you mean? It's like it happened in Essex. I'm sure people get attacked by dogs all the time in fucking Essex, you know? And she was like, well, kind of. I mean, it happened like a few streets away. And I was like, where are you getting this information? Because I was thinking that basically, like one of her neighbors was calling her to talk to her and stuff because she's one of those people that basically just gets along with her neighbors. Um, she either gets along with the neighbors or she starts a huge row or over something with her neighbors, because that's what's currently happening where she's living now. She hates the guts of one of them, but the other two she loves and is basically their best friend. But yeah, and I was like, well, somebody's just telling her tall tale about something that's happening kind of like somewhere in the vicinity of where she's, of where I was staying, but like not really, on the same housing estate. But no, she said, oh, it's been on the news and everything, and I was like, what are you talking about? So I basically checked my phone because like there's a button that you basically can just push that gives you local news or news that's happening around you and all that stuff. And yes, there's like 7 different news stories about like this woman that got killed in her own home by 2 dogs. And also there was like a random like helicopter that that I definitely saw, because that happened when Damon was there. Damon pointed out, it's like, is that a helicopter outside? And I was like, yeah. because I just assumed it was part of like the airfield that's near my mother. But no. That was part of whatever was happening over there. So that was fun. The next day, I went walking, and yeah, there were police basically shut off the connecting road to where my mother's road is. So okay. Anyway, I mean that was the most exciting thing that happened. I did. I didn't watch YouTube or anything. I was watching while I was staying there. I was watching Cheers, and I actually really liked it. I didn't get to see the last 15 episodes, but I really enjoyed that. And also, what's very strange, what's incredibly strange, is that question mark. What's incredibly strange is that when I was watching Cheers, you know Norm, he reminded me of somebody, and I was like, why does this guy kind of like look so weirdly familiar? And it was basically because if you put half-rimmed glasses on him and age him up a little bit, he looks just like a friend of mine who lives quite near Boston. Like weirdly at a few angles, almost exactly the same as that guy. What the fuck was going on there? I couldn't get it out of my head. Because Cheers is set in Boston, and it's like, this is weird. This is very strange. Even sounds like him a little bit. It's so weird. But yeah, I know that Cheers was actually filmed in Los Angeles, and I do know that basically the actor isn't from Boston, and I do know that that's not actually him. I'm just saying that it's just so strange. It was so strange. Also, lots of random chunky guys in the background as well, all in 80s fashion, which is horrible. Like it's my worst. It's the worst decade for like clothing, just in general. But if you can get past that, then I really did actually enjoy. Cheers. That was cool. I'm glad I saw that. I've wanted to see that for a long time because, like, I really like Frasier, and B, I've only ever seen like the first like 10 minutes of almost every fucking episode of Cheers, because when I was going to life-saving lessons, you know, when it's the training that you get when you do you know, just casual CPR and like rescue and all of that stuff, you know, basically like really low level EMT kind of just stuff, usually to do with swimming pools and stuff and all of that stuff. And yeah, it was just like life-saving kind of club thing, but also it's to do with like lifeguards and shit. Anyway, these would happen every like Wednesday night, and essentially it would usually be exactly when Cheers was about to begin. So I managed to usually watch like 20 minutes of Cheers, well, 10 minutes of Cheers, and then basically have to go. So it was good to watch all of these things like come to fruition, because I never actually got to see the end of the fucking thing ever. So yeah, that was kind of like cool. That was kind of cute. I did enjoy that. Like weirdly, Cheers is a weirdly good show. It doesn't really have any right to be a weirdly good show, but it's actually weirdly good. It's actually a really good show. So yeah. Well, it does annoy me a little bit every now and again with the whole with inconsistencies. I don't like that they're not what's it called? Consistent. Continuity. The continuity doesn't match with stuff. You know, it doesn't match with, like, their own stories don't match with each other. Sometimes within the same season. You know, for example, one person would say that it's like, well, actually, somebody's pregnant, for example, and then they're like complaining that it's taking so long for the baby to be born, and like one person will be like, it's like, well, it means that the baby's going to be super intelligent. I myself was a late, late to the party, as it were, and I graduated from Juilliard or whatever, or Harvard, and then, like, within the same season, this person will be like, I was a preemie. It's like, okay. Or Frasier, for example, like, the continuity with actual the Frasier character from Frasier is painful, because yes, like, he's got Lilith, he's got Frederick and everything, and they're in Frasier, and that's cool. However, he talks about his dad on more than one occasion, who is a scientist who really wanted him to be a psychiatrist and is dead. No. Because also the actor that plays his dad is in Cheers, at least for one episode. So yeah. Don, do you watch Frasier? Have you ever watched the original Frasier? I haven't seen the new Frasier. I was going to watch that after Cheers, but Cheers is like 11 seasons long somehow. So it took me all week to watch Cheers. So yeah. You haven't watched Frasier. Okay. Well, in Frasier, the very first fucking episode of Frasier, it's established that basically his dad is not a scientist. He is in fact a police officer. He's a cop. He's a retired cop, and is alive because in Frasier he lives with him. In the show, he lives with Frasier, the show that is a spin-off. Yeah. No, we weren't. We weren't talking about that. We were talk. No, we're not talking about Brendan Fraser. I feel sorry for Brendan Fraser. I really do. I'm not going to get into that just yet, though. I'm going to keep talking about bloody Cheers first. So yeah, Frasier's a good show too. I did enjoy Frasier, and I did enjoy Cheers, and I do. Yeah, I really like the actor that plays I can't remember what he's called. The Ratzenberger, is that his name? The guy who plays Cliff in Cheers. Like, I've always liked him. You know, I'm kind of a bit annoyed now though, because like it's he's the punching bag. He's the main punching bag. But yeah, I wasn't really hoping to. I wasn't really like. I don't really like Norm. but I actually found that I really liked Norm by the end of this, which is weird. Hey, Daz. Is this the no? Was this the thing that you said no about? Are you the Daz from HCM? Is that you? There's an episode where they all grow beards, by the way, and like Norm with a beard. Very much yes, very yes. There's also a fire chief who is quite portly, in uniform, and at the first episode of the last season has a glorious mustache. Just saying. Yeah. So yeah. If you want to talk about Brendan Fraser, I could talk about Brendan Fraser. Like I said, I feel sorry for Brendan Fraser because I really did enjoy his work, you know. And then like he went through this random phase where he was actually killing himself or something. Basically, he did a bunch of his own stunts and shit, and was like, "Yeah, this is fine." And he shouldn't have said that because apparently he was killing himself. He really hated doing his own stunts. He was getting seriously hurt doing his own stunts, and that's actually why he like stopped, because a bunch of his friends and family were telling him to please stop. You're going to kill yourself. um, so he did, and basically he's now come back and he's pretty good apparently. I don't know. I haven't seen that WoW thing. I saw a clip of it and I was just like, yeah, I'm not watching that. But yeah. He's on a rebound. I literally have only seen him in one thing. Well, I only know of him being in one thing that I didn't watch. But yeah. When are they going to do? I really want him back in. I know I said that I feel sorry for him for doing all of his own stunts and everything, but I really liked action movie star Brendan Fraser. I really enjoyed that. You know, I know this is going to sound um, well, it's one of my guilty pleasures. Okay, the Mummy franchise, except for the last movie. But that also is because I really like Rachel Reese, Rachel, her. I really like her as well. Um, I love the Mummy and the Mummy 2. I love them. I love them so much. They're like one of my favorite action movies. Um, really good, just really good. So yeah. But yeah, I did. I mean, like, what was the one where he was a caveman? You know, I didn't like George of the Jungle. I thought that was kind of a bit much. That was a bit too silly. That movie. It was funny, but it was a bit. Yeah. You know, he's done some serious stuff, which has actually been really good, but also kind of painful um, to watch. It's just yeah. Is it Encino Man? Really? I kind of like that. I don't know why I like that. I think it was just because Sean Austin is an asshole. And it's like it's really hard to make Sean Austin an asshole, but he's kind of a dick. it's like yeah, he's kind of a dingus. Like he plays this incredibly selfish character, and like he's the secondary hero, you know, of the story somehow, and I don't get it. But it's like, yeah, it took me years to figure out that that was Sean Austin. By the way, that was hilarious. But yeah, because everything else that Sean Austin's been in, he's always been like he's just a apparently he's a genuinely nice guy. He's one of those people that's just a genuine teddy bear all the fucking time. Like in real life, it's just it sounds painful to think of Sean Austin as a butthole. But at the same time, it's weird. It's weirdly, yeah, it's fascinating to see it. You know. So yeah. Anyway, not talking about Sean Austin. Talking about Brendan Fraser. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I know. He's in the whale. I know. I don't want to watch the movie. It looks dumb. It just all of it looked dumb. Every time I kept seeing it, just like yeah. And like I said, I watched one scene of it, and I was just like, the acting is probably super amazing, like it is in this scene for the rest of the movie. I'm sure it is. I don't care about the story though. I'm sorry, I don't care about the story. And the Foley work is just so over the top. Apparently, there's like, well, in this scene that I'm talking about that I saw, he breaks a table or something. Like he leans on a table and it breaks. And the sound effect that they use in, you know, the Foley artists, if they had them, it sounds like they just use a stock sound effect. It's like the it's a wooden table and you can hear smashing and stuff going on, like glass smashing. There's a glass smashing sound effect that I know what it sounds like. They use that. I don't even remember if there was anything breakable on the fucking table. What the fuck is going on? It was just so confusing and so over the top. And like everything was just like the background noise was just up. They just need to their sound mixer guy, you know, the sound editor, they need to fire that guy, you know. But yeah, it was so distracting from the rest of the scene that I was just like like I said, I didn't really care about the story anyway, so yeah. It was just like, well, you know, this is a good B plot. I need something else though. If I know this is the Oscar bait movie and everything, but Jesus. So my eyes like I'm really tired. I'm trying not to go to bed like super early-ish. Oh, I said bed. And I yawned, and now my eye is really trying to give it to me. Oh, oh. But yeah, I really like the Mummy movies. Does anybody else like the Mummy movies? I know, like I said, it's my guilty pleasure. I don't know what it is about them. Well, I do know what it is about them. There's just so much goodness in them. And yeah, I know that it's supposed to be a turn your brain off action adventure movie, but oh my god, somebody went to down on the research. You know, you know, Anaxinamun, Imhotep. I can't even remember the name of the. It was all fucking correct. You know, apart from Imhotep being he who was like not around when the Great Pyramids were built, because he built like the first one of the first pyramids. So it was kind of like, yeah. But apart from that, you know, um, like the ancient the Egyptian mythology and stuff that they use is a little bit, well, okay, it's very simplified, but it's like, you know, really good. It's still really good. It matches with a lot of stuff. Um, you know, the even the language and stuff is like it's like a whole big thing of like, this is what we don't know exactly what ancient Egyptian sounds like, but we think this is the best guess. And it's like, and they use this on Stargate. They use that the same language on Stargate and the movie, and in the Mummy, what the it's crazy. But yeah, it's just yeah, I like it. I do like it. I don't care about the bad CG, by the way. For the time, it was fucking groundbreaking, and it was actually not as bad as you think it was. Um, it's terrible by modern standards, but oh my god, The Rock is really like they went for a CG The Rock, and it's like you gotta give it to them. You gotta give it to them. It was not terrible. It wasn't good, but it was like, better than any CG that we ever saw in anything else. The scarabs look like garbage. It does make all of the other CG in the movie, and this is we're talking about the second movie. It does make the all the CG in the movie though look worse because of it. You know, but still, a lot of people don't like them because they're just like, they think that they're just like mindless action movies and stuff. But they went to town. Oh yeah, but that was like liquid metal, and it was kind of meant to look fake. That's that is, yeah. You can't really compare that. That's not, no. It's not the same. It was still really good. I will grant you that it's still really good. But this was like they were going for a photorealistic, fully CG character in multiple scenes, interacting with other people. They nailed it for the time. Marvel is also mindless, yeah, but I mean Thor. Sorry, you just. I mean Thor. I mean, I don't have to go on. It's just it's Thor. So yeah, totally saves it. You know, I do like that. Even the bad Thor movies, the bad Thor movie is kind of like, it's just something that they want you to ignore, just because it's just like, well, it wasn't really good, was it? I'm still surprised that you've seen Terminator 2. You already know my disdain for the Thor movies. I don't actually. I don't remember them. Maybe I blocked that out. Hmm. The only Marvel one I thought about afterwards was Eternals and Infinity War. Yeah, okay. So I'm just remembering all the best bits of Thor Ragnarok because it's all the best bit. Um, the latter for plot reasons. Yeah, still I don't get it. Um. Okay, now it's stinging because of eyelashes. Why? Why? Yeah, I still don't get what you don't like about the Thor movies. I don't get it. They're just. I mean, they're so good. I mean, like Ragnarok. I mean, just Ragnarok. It's my favorite of all the Marvel movies in general. It's just all good. Just really like Ragnarok. Um, I'm still pissed that we didn't get more Hell. You know, Hella. I really like her. So yeah, I just watched the What If, by the way. There's a What If episode, and it's like really good. It's got more Hella in it. It's a bit much at the end of that episode, but I don't know why. It looks so fake. It looks so fake. All they had to do is basically like kick Chris Hemsworth off of his training regiment. You know, it's like if he could get, you know, I know it's not actually possible to do that, but I mean, if he could claim to get um, that body, you know, with nothing but discipline and, you know, totally not steroids, um, then he could totally get it back within like a couple of weeks. All they had to do is basically just kick him off of his training regimen for a bit, get the proper, you know, biker trucker Thor look, you know, the proper dad bod look, then it would be perfect. But no, we got melted ice cream, fake, you know, crappy fake Thor. It just nah, you know. It was basically you know the I don't know if anybody's seen Love and Thunder. Basically, there's like a quick montage where he's working out, trying to work off the fat, as it were, and he's basically. I think that they actually do tone it down a little bit. You know, the fake everything kind of, you know, body Thor. They literally just have like a pillow under his shirt or something, as he's working out with the giant chains, and it's like, yes, that's all they needed to do. I mean, that's literally all they needed to do. What the fuck was wrong with that? What gives? Why couldn't they just have done that? So much cheaper, you know. But no, they went with the weirdly hairless fake titties. You know, I just wanted a Thor from oh my god, what is the what's the God of War franchise? You know, I wanted God of War Thor. I mean, is that was that so hard? Was that so hard? But no, apparently it was so hard. So yeah. Oh, what was the name of the I feel like it's a B name. What's the name of the chunky one? I mean, the actor's dead too. The actor's dead. I'm so annoyed about that. Fat drunk daddy Thor. Well, that's basically what he's supposed to be anyway. I'm still really pissed off that in that game they basically changed the character model like of him. I'm really pissed off at that. They basically they slimmed down his character model. When he turns to the side, he is like a brick wall. When you see him face on in the video game, when you see him face on, he is like a round fat guy. He's a round, but he's like really strong fat. Kind of like giant man. But when he turns, he's just like he's weirdly two-dimensional. I mean, he's still thick, but he's just like he's the same. It's weird. He doesn't stick out. I got a feeling that they did that because of all the random backlash. There's some random backlash. It's like, it doesn't look tough or anything. It just looks fat. And it's like, you guys know nothing about fucking Norse mythology. He's supposed to have a beer belly. Thor is supposed to have a beer belly. He drank an ocean. He drank an ocean of mead. It's like multiple times. Sorry, it's just that it's in quite a lot of stories about how much he can eat and how much he can drink. And it's like, well, yeah, Thor's a fat guy. Strong fat guy, but still. I think there's a video game that had him as big guy. Look up Thor in God of War. If you just look up Thor from God of War, the promotional images, they show him as being like very round, but like still kind of incredibly intimidating looking. Big Daddy Thor. In the video game, he only looks like that when he's facing you dead on. If he turns in any way, you can tell that they basically like they haven't kind of like they had to change the actual mesh, to make him kind of like he still looks like that if his face is dead on, but when he turns, it's like his tummy's shrinking. It's very strange, but there was so much backlash to this promotional picture that they had to do something, and it was just so annoying when they did it. It does wind me up. I don't know why it winds me up so much, but it's just that it really turned me off of the entire thing. Especially since they were really good with their lore and how they actually told the story of like how Ragnarok is going to happen and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, this is a cool interpretation in a universe, in an alternate timeline. In one of the Ragnaroks, I can totally believe that this is the complete cast of exactly how it happens and stuff like that. Like, I'm totally okay with that. Makes you mad because he's almost the perfect Thor. Yeah, he's almost the perfect Thor. Also, he's a lot more charming. Basically, they need that Thor from the poster, not the video game, but the poster of the video game. They need that Thor with the Marvel's Thor personality. If they just had that, then that would be that is Thor. That is Thor. Also, he has to have more red in his beard. He just has to have a bit more red in his beard. Only because basically like they keep like that's another thing from Legend. They basically like they go on and on about how red his hair is and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. So yeah. He's not as randomly like angry at this as he is in the game, It's like it's a whole big thing. They also treat death in a very weird and stupid way, but Odin died twice. Everybody, he got better. I do like how they basically kind of explain it as like they're gods, but they are just people. You know, they're gods, but they're people. That's kind of because that's the whole thing of Norse mythology. And I know I've said this more than once. It's just a thing. It's just a pet peeve. It's just a pet peeve. You know, it's kind of like that's one of the reasons why I do like the Marvel interpretation is that they're kind of like they're space police. You know, the Asgardians are kind of like really cool space police. You know, but they are just aliens. You know, they're Asgardian, so they do have a lifespan. It's just that it takes a few thousand years and stuff like that. You know, it's like it's a whole big thing. I do like that there is like reasonable explanations for all of this random stuff. You know, that's one of the reasons why I like Thor and Loki and all of that stuff. It's like it's reasonable explanations, and they're really cool explanations. I really like that, and yeah, but I don't like certain things that they've done in the video game, in the God of War video game. I don't like them to a point, you know. But I do see this as one of the interpretations. One of the things that people don't understand is that basically the universe in Norse mythology, the whole universe is basically it's the realms are built on top of each other, and when Ragnarok happens, everything just goes up a level, and a new level is built underneath. That's literally it. You know, so basically the video game could be one of the interpretations of how how Ragnarok happens in one of the interpretations. It's an endless cycle that just it's about renewing everything every single time. You know, it's kind of cool. So I can totally believe that that is part of one of the Ragnaroks that ever happened. I'm totally okay with that. But it's not the one that we exist in, I don't think, because again, Thor's wrong. But it's not my Thor, but it's a Thor. How about that? Okay. Although Anthony Hopkins is like the perfect Odin. Like, oh my god, it's almost like he was made to be Odin. That was really good. I really did like Anthony Hopkins. There needed to be more of that. But father, she's ill. She'll die. It's like she's mortal. That's their defining characteristic. Oh, it's just all of his lines are just like so good. All of them. Anthony Hopkins just so good. I can keep going on. I'm trying to think of a good segue to leave. It's just really hard. But yeah, Don, did you find the picture of the awesome Thor? Did you find that? But yeah, that's my god. I'm okay with that picture. Again, with slightly redder hair, but yeah, I'm okay with that. Like I could totally buy that again. I know I keep going on about this story, but I can totally get like buy with the tweak in the personality, that guy is basically on his special day. or one day a week he goes and helps the mortals and does, he personally goes down to Midgard and actually helps like the mortals basically out with everyday shit. I could totally see him doing that. I could totally see Odin, like an Anthony Hopkins Odin, not the guy that they got from the game. Basically, like just disguising himself all the time as different random old guys, just to insult him all the time. I can totally see this story completely playing out, and him being completely like good natured about it and everything. Although I can also see him like cutting the head off of a giant hell. Like what was that again? They actually name it in Thor Ragnarok in the Marvel Thor Ragnarok. Did they? No, that was actually in the first Avengers movie. Whatever. It's like a cross between a dog and a giant wild boar, and like in Legends, he actually like cuts the head off of it just like super quick and everything. So yeah, is that the one with the shard of the hammer? No, that's a different myth. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm mixing up my Norse mythology. But yeah, there is a weird story. I can't remember what this one's about. I think he was just like like being challenged to a duel from a giant or something, and he basically like refuses to kill the giant, and instead like when he's about to using Mjolnir, he's about to like kill a giant, but he's decides not to kill the giant and instead hits a rock or something, and it actually breaks a shard off of Mjolnir, and then like the giant's about to kill him, so he just grabs the shard and stabs him, and that basically like super kills him. But kill in like a weird sense, because again in Norse mythology, when you die, you don't actually, yeah. It meant that he didn't get to go to Valhalla. It meant he went to one of the hells instead, or something. Oh my god, I've got to brush up on my Norse mythology. I've got to go read the Prose Edda again. Is it the Prose Edda? I think it's the Prose Edda. The Prose Edda. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Okay, anything anybody want to ask me or say to me before I leave? Could you read it live as like a teacher session? I mean, I've got to find the translation again. I really need like a whole book. I need like a whole book of the translated Prose Edda. Pretty sure it's a Prose Edda. I think that's the Icelandic one. That'll give you like it. Yeah. We don't have a whole lot of Norse mythology. Most of it is transcended by disdainful Christian missionaries that might be Celtic mythology, though. No, you're right about that. But it's basically that is the I was going to say the Nordic Norse mythology, but that's stupid. That's the Germanic. All of the stuff that we know about like Norse mythology that recorded history is basically the Prose Edda, which I think is the one that is the Icelandic like collection of tales, which may or may not be that. It may or may not be Celtic missionaries, or um, the definitely super Christianized like stuff that we get from the Jamaic Norse culture, which basically is just a collection of stories that are all brought together, but I don't think it actually has like a proper name or anything. I think it literally is just like it's like a couple of sources or something, and even then, it's very split up. Am I bleeding? I mean, some of that's blood. I've got random. Yeah, my hair's wet. What the fuck? Okay. I have got a cut or something. Fun. Yeah, like I said, so yeah, you got like the yeah. I don't think so. I didn't think I had one there. I might have just scratched myself. I was scratching there earlier. It now feels itchy there, so that usually doesn't happen when you have a pimple. Weird. Anyway, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's blood. Yay, fun. Just hold this on for a second. Have head blood. Awesome. Yeah, like I said, one of them is called the Prosetta. I think it's the Icelandic one. I think, yeah. Um, I think that one is like the most that you get the most information from that. However, it does differ from the collection of stories that we have from the, like I said, the Jamaic one, which is like the Norse cultures, that did the Viking shit, that are more in the continent, whereas the more Scandinavian Celtic, um, like seafaring cultures around the Baltic Sea and all that stuff, they basically that's where we get the Prosetta one. They were basically like the more Celtic Vikings. I hate saying Vikings, but the more Celtic Nordic people from that particular region were slightly more united. They had like a more interconnected kind of, mostly through the sea, um, like history and stuff. We think we know this, but that's only because a lot of the port towns and stuff that were Vikinged, um, like kept more records, and once they were Vikinged and everything, and once the Celtic culture and the Nordic culture basically was overtook those particular areas, then they kind of like were better established. However, the ones that are we don't know for sure. Yeah, that helped. It's not that itchy anymore, so I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah, we don't know for sure how interconnected and how well, basically, like the more Germanic Nordic cultures were, on account of so much more history has happened. So much more shit has basically like happened to those regions and in those regions, like over the next the next few civilizations that came through that bit of Europe. So basically, it kind of erases everything that's before it. Every time a new revamp, a new enlightenment comes and basically wipes it out. So yeah, it's a thing. It's really funny that to me that people actively worship the Norse gods based on transcriptions from people who hated the religion. Well, no, at the time they didn't. Also, yeah, the whole Norse religion and stuff like that is incredibly different to how other cultures actually worship their gods and stuff. There wasn't any sacrifices. There was like no sacrifices. There were no temples. There were no, you know, there was no like active worship in the Norse religion, in the original Norse religion. Basically, like I said, they didn't really see these people as gods. They saw them as Aesir, which basically is just it just means that they're kind of like a level up from people. They're people, like they mostly come from Odin and his knowledge of everything, and he basically made his family and like his wife's family, um his wife's family, although there's weird misconceptions about that as well. Like better using his knowledge. It's just a whole thing. It's kind of like I said. It's like the Asgardians. The Asgardians, even in the Marvel universe, are basically like, um, even in the Marvel universe, the Asgardians are in the Marvel universe. Yeah. In the Marvel universe, the Asgardians are actually just people, like Odin, and somehow his grandfather, somehow his father or whatever, basically like discovered something way, 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 way back, like on Earth. They basically essentially discovered the knowledge of genetic manipulation and then kind of made a whole race out of it. Once they went into space, they discovered the Bifrost and genetic manipulation, went into space and basically made a whole civilization. It's like, yeah, it's a whole big thing. So yeah, it's yeah. I swear this was like on a director's commentary or something. I want to touch my owie. I want to touch it. It still feels wet. It's gross. I really want to have my shower. Anyway, one day wickedism has the same feeling. Oh. So it's just that modern day Wiccanism is an incredibly modern thing. It's an incredibly modern thing. No, you didn't touch a sore spot. Basically, it's just that, like I said, it came out of the like modern day the pre-modern day satanic panic thing. You know, there was a second, so the main satanic panic was that in like the 80s or something, whatever. The the first wave of satanic panic, like, kind of came out of the weird hippie movement of like the late 50s, early 60s, and then that's when basically people were starting to like get into more of the, yeah, into like the whole hippie scene and Satanism. I know it sounds stupid. It gets better. Um, and then basically trying to like the weird mysticism that came from that, you know. And that's when you got the modern Wiccan movement. I mean, that's when it started. That's when it started to start. You know, the like traditional Wiccan religion wasn't really seen as to be like a religion. It was more kind of like just an old wives' tale practicing thing. You know, it was more like folklore kind of mysticism. You know, it was incredibly localized. It usually happened in more rural areas, and uh, like I don't know so much about the American version, but I do know that in the UK, it it never left. You know, basically, like you had your whole American like witchy thing going on with your you know, your Salem and all that bullshit. Um, and I don't that's the stuff I don't know about so much. But in the UK, we had our own kind of like huge, you know, witch burny thing. Although they weren't burnt, it was more like they were hanged, hung, whatever. But essentially, like that, all of that stuff has been around since the Middle Ages, you know, and it just never went away. And again, like I said, it's more and more rural areas and stuff. It never really went away. It was only kind of like resurged with the modern Wiccan movement from America that came back over here and kind of took over all of the paganism shit that was happening over here. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was also that. I mean, there's a lot of like lot of European shit that basically dealt with the whole tarot card thing. You know, the tarot card gypsy mysticism shit and stuff like that. But the mysticism thing never really. I mean, it's kind of like one of those long lasting waves of fads. You know, they seem to last for like 60 years and then they go away for 40 years and then they come back every 60 years. They come back for another 60 years and then go away again. You know, it seems to be one of those things that just like, yeah, it just keeps going with pockets of it happening every now and again, just over on the Earth planet. You know, it's like, it's just a thing. You can't really get like the Wiccan thing and the paganism thing and all of that stuff seem to either be incredibly localized phenomenon or they resurge every now and again, like collectively over the planet. So yeah, I don't really see those as proper religions in the first place. Like, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but they aren't. You know, it's a thing. It's like spiritualism. You know, spiritualism and mysticism have basically been kind of like very much linked up, and yeah, it's only because basically like really prominent figures, like the whole spiritualism thing came about because of like the Victorian era. So yeah, because one woman missed her fucking husband so much that she kept holding seances and like you know, like thinking that she could talk to her husband even though he was super dead. It was a whole big deal. Right. It's a whole thing. My butt's falling asleep, and I want to go brush my teeth and deal with my head blood. It does bring out my redness in my hair. Extra iron. Hey, I just noticed that my moustache is like fully back on camera. Unless I do that. Never mind. Right. Is there anything else that anybody wants to ask me or say to me before I go? Now is the time. Like I said, I'm going to try to do more live streams. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow. Probably a little bit earlier than this. You know, I was just kind of like squeezing out a little bit more of my video game before I left, before I went to bed. And I was like, well, I could stream now, or I could just go to bed. And I was like, and do this tomorrow. But I'd rather have like a proper live stream tomorrow than just a Well, Don, if I'm being completely honest with you, like I said, I kind of need the money, so yeah. Every little helps. So yeah. Stop scratching. Stop. Sorry, it's like that's what did this. I really am tired. Like I'm starting to get random kind of like paranoia happen. I keep thinking it's like the spider is just going to be there if I turn my head, but no, probably not. Right, guys. Ugh. Yeah, my butt fell asleep. That's going to hurt in a minute. Belly rubs and belly salute. Oh, there's a smaller spider up there. I can't see it on the shelf. I'm going to stop looking. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. And hopefully I would have done something more with your picture. So yeah. Actually, I need to do that. I need to be back. Okay. Toodles.